Hey, so I thought I would try filming another video where I walk around a loop line. This one's a little bit smaller. It's in Sydney where I live, and I did try filming it before the one where I was in Japan, but I didn't know how to use my equipment and still don't, so we'll do this shorter walk and see what we can find. To start somewhere a little bit quieter, then I thought I would come to this station, which is called Regent Street Station now. It's not in use, but it used to be the old mortuary station where people would ride funeral trains to get to Rookwood Cemetery. The main central station terminal building is built where a cemetery used to be, so a lot of the bodies were taken to Rookwood from here. One of the features of Central Station is the clock tower, also the heritage sandstone facade. So this hall is the Grand Concourse, and it was modelled off Union Street Station in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis? St. Louis? I don't know. From Central, you can catch a train pretty much anywhere in Sydney or interstate. But some days then the trains will be stopped for maintenance, but that is okay. One thing I like about Sydney train stations that it has over Japan is that you can tap on and tap off as a transfer. So you don't have to pay just to go into the station and come back out again. The station was recently refurbished, so it looks a lot nicer than it used to, and has a connection to the metro. Spent enough time in the station now, so let's find our way to the next one and see what we can see along the way. Across the road from Central Station is the bus stop, Railway Square, and also the TAFE and University of Technology. Railway Square is where most of the buses into and out of the city stop, so Central Station is also a great place for catching public transport other than trains. Walking down the hill, we start to get more towards Chinatown, and so it's a good spot to come if you want to grab some lunch and see what Australian Chinese food has to offer. Another spot that recently opened where you can get some food is the food centre in Market City. So we might have a look through that because it's good for Instagram. favorite thing about this place? Emperor puffs. Lots of people's favorite. This street has a couple of Sydney's omakase restaurants by the same people. Go on. If you can get a booking and you like seafood and sushi and sashimi, then I guess it's great. One of the more popular cafes in the area for its matcha latte. Leaving Chinatown now, we have the Chinese Garden of Friendship on our right. It's $12 to go in, and I do like it, but today I will save my money and continue on our walk. And this is the Sydney International Convention Centre, or the ICC, and if you come here then you might see people practicing their K-pop dances. After a bit of walking, we finally made it to Darling Harbour, which is near our next station. But it's a good spot to come if you want to do touristy things like the aquarium and go to IMAX. And so there are lots of things to do. This is the Piedmont Bridge, and this is Cockle Bay Wharf. So a lot of nightlife activity around here, which is nice. Sydney doesn't have much of that anymore. There used to be a monorail, but it didn't go anywhere that people wanted it to go, so they took it down. But the stations are still here. We're going to continue on up the hill. After a little bit of a detour, then we finally made it to our next station, which is Town Hall. Here is St Andrew's Cathedral and Town Hall, and over here is the QVB where we're headed. QVB is one of the places that you would usually stop at if you wanted to see some Christmas things. Every year they have this tree that they put up in the dome. Sometimes you can go on a tour up those stairs. One of the things I usually like to do is just to stand and watch all of the people wander around as they do their shopping. George Street is one of the busiest streets in Sydney, but it's been made more walkable and has the light rail running down it now. So it makes it a nicer street. Another building that I like to walk through when I'm walking down George Street is the Strand. A lot of nice specialty shops, including a specialty coffee shop just below us. the other end of the Strand brings you out onto Pitt Street Mall, which is where you can go into Westfield Tower if you want to. There's a nice restaurant at the top. But we're going to continue this way because that will take us to the next bridge, the next station. Not officially on our list of city circle stations, but the heart of the CBD is probably this area, which is Martin Place, and we'll continue on to find our real station. Through here is our next station, which is Wynyard. Last time I did this loop, I tried to save my legs a little bit by taking the ferry, but I think maybe this time I'll brave walking it. See how my legs go. Above the steps is the observatory, and it's a good place for weddings. Now, when we follow these steps down, we will get to our next station. Hopefully, all going well. And coming down is the Argyle Stairs. As we head down the hill, then we come to the Rocks, and on the weekends the Rocks has markets that you can visit.
Oh, look, more line bikes. There's so
On this side you have the Harbour Bridge, and you can also go to the Museum of Contemporary Art if that is your sort of thing. And our station is over this way. We did it. We made it to our next station, which is Circular Quay. And this is where you catch all of the ferries from. And if you catch a very big boat, then this is also where you will stop. Like to point out is on the ground it has some little markers that tell you what the shoreline was at different points. So this is at 1788 with Captain Cook, and then there is a grey line out there which is for 1844, which is about when the train lines started going. I always used to say that once you've been to Circular Quay, then you've seen about pretty much all that Sydney has to offer, because you've got the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House ahead. But hopefully by doing walks like this, then you and I can see that there is more than just the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Let's continue on to our next station. One of my grandfathers was in the Navy, and at the time that he was in it, then this was where all of the ships left from on their adventures. So that's fun. A couple of my favourite gardens in the Royal Botanic Garden are this one up here, which doesn't look like much, but it's the aromatic one, so useful plants. And then down here is where all of the wildflowers grow in the springtime. Slash now, because the middle of autumn is also a time for plants growing. If you came to see Putrescia, the corpse flower, earlier in the year, then this is where it was. If, like me, you enjoy free things, then the Art Gallery of New South Wales is pretty good. There are some paid exhibits, but most of it you can wander around for free. And this is a new section that was just opened recently, and the old section is up that way. I do like to go in here, but also I could probably lose hours if I do. So this time we'll continue walking to get to our next station. Our second last station, I think, so that's exciting. Still some summer flowers, confused by the weather. Here on this corner we have St Mary's Cathedral, which is the big Catholic church, and on the other corner is Hyde Park, and that is where our next station is. And that familiar tower, we will head towards that. Made it to our second last station, which is St James, named not after the big cathedral but after the smaller church over here on the corner. If you follow the path through Hyde Park, eventually you get to the War Memorial. Over here on the eastern side is where all of the museums are, which our next station gets its name from. And this is it. We've made it to museum station on the corner. In the end, walking the loop was probably the best idea because all of the stations were closed. So we'll make our way back to Central and get something to drink. If you did not want to walk in the loop, then all you need to do is follow George Street and you'll get to most of the places that we went to today. If you don't want to walk, there is the light rail. And after all of this walking, we finally made it back to the place where we started from, Central Station. So we've done the full loop, and I just want to say thank you for coming on this journey once again, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.